We'll get caught up on the scrap to start off this heat, Tanner.
Wow, okay. It looks like a little energy right on the peak there, but we watched this wave real time. Barron, that was a phenomenal backhand turn, and I feel like right here he could have kind of put a big nail in the old starting coffin there. Bit of a mistake to fall.
And then Jake's first wave, Jesse.
Yeah, this is the 3.33 that he starts it off, and the wave starts to lacked a little bit of energy and coping, not much curve on it, but he's able to keep the momentum, and then he just overcooks it right there.
Surfrider Foundation loves this event. They love all the locals that join their local chapter to protect this beautiful beach. Let's get things going. Well, Jake's already starting. Mr. Marshall from just down the coast in S.Moniz putting together a few frontside carves and then laying it down nice and clean on the sharp eye. Marshall now building down the stretch and has a final turn there. That'll kind of catch him a little bit, but his warm-up's done as he's taking on two guys from the island of Oahu, Seth Moniz and Barron Mamiya.
The lip line, and he ended up getting caught, but this second wave he definitely cleaned up. Started off with a beautiful board slide, and you can see how much more in tune he is and more in time he is with the wave. Probably a worse wave in quality, but put a good wave together and got a mid-range score of 5.33. Great way to start the heat.
J.Marshall, stellar season, had his best combined heat total of his career back at Bell's. Tanner's older brother, as we look at Barron, hitting that section to come around the corner. It's still a big wall, so he's got a great section to throw the tail and reverse. There's the wall here. Barron's second wave, Tanner.
You know, I think this speaks to the two different approaches we're seeing in this heat. Barron with knockout punches. Essentially, he's condensing his rides. He's looking for major maneuvers.
I love the most about that wave. We'll get back to that after this from J.Marshall.
Jake coming off the top on the backhand. Little carve back into the source again. Finding his points. Just kind of feeling his way down the line on the left. A wave he spent so much time on throughout his entire life. He's so thrilled that it's a regular season event this year.
And perfect. Jake tee this up. It's more, the cadence has more rhythm with the wave, right? He's choreographing a bit more longer rides. He's linking the big moves as well, but it comes from a different spot. So Barron, you know, it's like a firework.
I guess there's plenty of ways. Let's get back
Let's
to
enjoy
Seth
it, huh?
Moniz.
Let's just lock in. Seth throwing down a nice little fade. Draws off the bottom, attacking the lip line there. Nice arc in the pocket again. Seth finding his groove and jams it through the lip, getting out in front. Small little inside runner that he's going to step off of. Remember Seth coming down here to lowers when he was just a mini Grom.
And I think Seth, it's funny to find him almost in the middle of the two. Obviously, he has those incredibly big moves. He has X factor like Barron, but right here he's relying on rail work, and I don't know if he's getting his feet wet. And again, I don't really want to sleep on Seth. I think he has all the ability to be winning this heat. And Jesse, I'm curious here because we've mentioned Barron riding this, and we have Seth and Jake as he's riding his first wave, both opting for sharp eye. So I know sharp eye is he trained with a lot of the Brazilians back way many years ago, and now finding a lot of international riders. Like, what's the insight on these curves that these guys are choosing?
Well, I mean, obviously it's a great board. Marshall just lives down the road for the last 30 or so years, so he knows he's dialed for these conditions right here. And just I think the X factor of sharp eyes, I rode myself for a few years, it's just the speed that he carries. And
I think that's the thing that really pops out when you see someone step on a sharp eye. Just the speed factor that they're gaining on their equipment there. A couple of big hooks from Jake. How'd you like it, Tanner?
So this is classic J.Marshall. Like, he's definitely coming from the school of Chris Gallagher with his coach. It's all about form, it's technique, it's placement. I'm such a Jake fan. Like, I surf with him all the time. He's down the road from me, and he comes from a surfing family, and he's supported very well in S.Moniz. It's just cool to see him lighting this up, you know? Like, this isn't too far from his home. He could kind of be considering it his home break. He surfs out here all the time, and he looks really in rhythm today.
Yeah, finding his consistency, his flow, those rail hooks, just so perfectly placed in the pocket, and he could switch gears. The carve, and then leans back into that move, Jesse.
I mean, that was so impressive. I personally think that could have been a little bit more of a spread on that last wave of him coming in a 7.17. The way he attacked the wave, the variety, and that last turn that we just saw, the layback, got so much.
Everything to get you in the water. You got to stop by Basham's here in the San Clemente community. As we're ripping down the line with Seth, tagging his points well, and trying to fight for that last maneuver. He's going to let go of it. And now fading on the right is Jake, and he's up and out. And Barron will sit with first priority. Gosh, I'm sure you've spent quite a few hours in Basham's in your lifetime. What a great place to hang out.
You're super impressed about it, and we can get back to that after Barron's wave.
Barron using priority, needing a 7.08. Take the lead. I love that. First turn, putting a lot into it. Right into a wrapping cutback, and he will shut it down. There's that firework.
This wave probably more critical, a little bit steeper, lacked a little bit variety compared to J.Marshall's wave. This is a beautiful carve right here, and that finishing turn, strong, but I think there was a little bit more left on the bone on that closeout. But this opening turn here is beautiful from Barron.
It's fun to watch this ride. I feel like this is a great example of when you get a shorter, condensed energy at lowers, it can create a more potent feel, right? Like if he had laced these turns out 50 yards each between the moves, you wouldn't really be thinking too much about it. But since they were done so quickly, there's an excitement there. There's a contagious energy that, I don't know. I'd be curious to see where that score comes. I would imagine pretty close to Jake's.
G you were talking about.
Sonny G right there?
That was huge. And then just straight down, Seth steps off, out of position on that one. Jake will go to first priority. I like that. 55 seconds on the clock. We're going to see a roll in here from Barron Mamiya. Trying to force it on a smaller left here. Big whip incomplete. Staying in second. Jake still looking solid. Guys he's known his whole life. So there's the comfort factor there for Jake. And now his original rival, Griff, will be out there next. They're probably going, wait, are we still at Nationals? No, this is the Dream Tour.